Well,
Hi
good
guys.
afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, viewers. Here, this is another episode of the interview, and we have few persons today to interview. And welcome, host. We have KD, Kimora Jack,
Hi
Lily
guys.
London as usual, and me, Super Barnes. All right. So, KD, tell me what's up. What's up with you and the whole pandemic and stuff? What's going on here?
I'm working out. I have my ball with me as usual. Everywhere I go, I carry my ball. We have to stay fit. We can't just depend. Okay, Willie, I see you. I see you, Willie. We can't just as players, we can't just, sit around and wait for Jabba to do something for us. We have to take up that initiative and work out at
Yeah.
home, exercise, and try and maintain some level of fitness, some level of discipline in this time. So when we get back on the court, we're not far behind from where we left off.
Good,
All
good,
right,
good, good.
true.
Good
That's
advice.
good. You'll be excited because you're one of those persons who like the female side of the basketball, and you always trying to endorse all females. So we have a female today to interview, and I know you're happy and sounding to get this female on. So there you go. You can bring on that host. I'm bring on that person for you as the host today.
But before we bring on Ashalee, can I introduce? Oh my
Well,
God! Before we bring on Ashalee, can I introduce who we have today for the viewers? She is a four-time defending intercollegiate champion. Not one, not two, not four-time champion. And she's also the reigning RGR 2020 Female Basketball Player of the Year. She's Ashalee Gordon. We can bring her on. Yeah, we can bring her on.
Ashalee, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Ash.
Welcome.
Hi, Dragon.
Hi, Ashalee. What's up?
Nothing much, just here.
Congrats on your
Hi.
award. That's huge. RGR 2020 Sportswoman of the Year awardee. Wow. Talk to us. Let us know, how do you feel? You're the reigning RGR 2020 Sportswoman of the Year. How does it feel? Well, before you begin, sorry, I just wanted to commend you on your outfit that you wore to the award ceremony. You were stunning. I love that black dress that you wore. Willie, do we have a picture that we can show the viewers? Yes,
We
look at
do.
her in that nice black dress. You come right out. I love
Yeah.
the hair. So yeah, Jerome, you look good to Jerome. You have a buzz. You have a little buzz.
Big up
So,
yourself, Jerry.
Jerome, big up yourself.
All right.
Jerome. Yeah.
Kimora, before that still, more actually, what you want to talk to the viewers? Tell the viewers about your age, height, and which position you play and stuff.
Okay, first of all, my name is Ashalee Gordon. I'm 22 of age. I was born on June 5th, soon to be 23. I play small forward sometimes, depending on the team we're playing or the competition I'm in, I might play power forward. Um, I'm 5'11", maybe 6, but the thing keep on saying 5'11". I don't know why. Yeah. So that's much about it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
actually, can I just Dragon question for me, please? Because she
Yeah.
seems so excited to get that question.
How does it feel? How does it feel? Talk to us.
All right, let me see. First thing, I have that as a dream from I have written down that for 2 years ago that I wanted to
Yeah.
accomplish that goal. Yes, I have written it down, but I've lost memory that I had it written down. But when I got the call, I was so excited. I was so
Yeah.
excited. It was in December that I got the call, and I was so excited. I started screaming because I
Mhm.
finally got the chance because I actually worked really, really hard to
Yes.
be in that position. And trust me, that day, oh my God, I felt good. Being
Yeah.
on the red
Kudos.
carpet and everything.
Yeah, kudos to you. Yeah, I spoke about your outfit before. I think you represented well. You represented yourself well. You represented female basketball well. So kudos to you. And you spoke about work ethic, and I can attest to that. You are a hard worker, and you deserved it. You deserved it. You worked for it, and I'm happy for you. So talk to us. You're a four-time defending champion. It pains me to say this because three out of those four times I lost to her. Like
I
I
was
lost
there.
to
I
her.
was there for one of those games, and
Yeah,
yeah,
Willie was there, and I
she did do
embarrassed her.
now way. Them deal do
So
now way.
yeah, yeah, it pains me to say this, but talk to us. Does any one title stand out to you more than one? Is there any one title that you have that you say, all of them titles here can go on, but I have to keep this one. This one is, very meaningful to me. Do you have any titles that you prefer, or are all your titles equally meaningful to you?
To be honest, everyone, all of them mean the most to me because when I first came to GC Foster, I heard that the team was winning back to back before. To be honest, I think it's 7 years back to back. So I was just trying to work hard to make the team because technically I was on the bench the whole time unless someone wanted sub or something. So I was there looking up to my senior players. I tried to work hard because my coach Ramiki pushed us very, very, very hard until we break down a couple of times, almost every other day or every day. So
Yeah.
each of them is really dear to me, and I try to work hard and push my younger players who are left there now because technically I'm supposed to leave this year if I decide that is. So each of them really mean the most to me, to be honest.
Yeah, and shout out to
All right.
Ramiki. I
Yeah.
think that a number of players would attest our development to some of the camps that he started, such as Star Search. I don't personally, for me, that's where basketball grew for me. That was where I got my first exposure to the fundamentals of the game. And I think a lot of players in my age group can attest to that. And not only do you learn about basketball, you also learn life skills and life lessons, and you also develop friendships. Because some of the friends that I'm closest to today, I met them at the camp. Even Ashalee that I'm interviewing today, I met her at Star Search basketball camp. So kudos to Mr. Ramiki and what he has been doing for basketball in Jamaica.
So, actually, tell me, with all those superstars, as I say, into GC Faster, you see much better players. So, how you stay motivated and try move on playing basketball?
Um, I just try to look for someone that I look up to and try to better myself. So it's just being at a different stage than what I am today. So each time I work harder and push harder as much as I can because I like to do the best of what I can do.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question for you. At what age did you start playing basketball?
I think it's around ninth grade. To be honest,
Ninth grade.
yeah, I don't know what age.
Which school? Which school did you attend?
Technical high school.
Go again.
St. Elizabeth Technical High School.
Oh, you're
States.
from the
Oh,
you're from the country. Okay.
Shout out to Seth.
Okay. So you should know the baller named Bird then that plays for CMU.
Of course.
Okay. Because I remember him getting dunked on, I'm
Yeah, I still have
yeah,
that
yes,
video.
I still have that video. All right. Some baller coming in from States. That's good. That's good. So who inspired you to play
uh,
this sport?
To be honest, it was my netball coach. She wanted me to jump higher, so she sent me to play basketball. That's how I reached over there.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I heard you mention about the dominance of DC because they're obviously dominant with you there, but even before you, with players like Loretta Gordon, Stacey Ann, they have been dominant from that time. And then when they graduated, you came and they're still dominant. And I think even after you have left, they will still be dominant at the college. What do you attest for that? What going up at GC? We want to know what going, cause you will come on to blow them out. Michael come on to blow them out. Let us know what's happening. Please talk to us.
All right. It's basically about the coaching and our self-discipline. We have been in camp for December, the whole December. To To be honest, this December was my worst December. We had 3 training each day. Technically, we only have 15 minutes.
What?
Just 3 training each day, and each of them was
Oh my
hard.
God.
This, I don't know what happened, but I don't know, but I guess it was something.
Mr. Morgan. What?
Yes, Mr. Morgan.
What?
This is why they're the champions. This is why they are the
Actually,
champions.
Yeah.
Actually, I know GC Foster stay and GC Foster. No matter what sports happening over there, you have a lot of persons. So how you feel to play in front of the crowd and try keep your game and keep your cool?
Alright, over there is a small, very, 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 very small school. So you get familiar with everybody very easily. So it's not a big deal for me. Trust me, I love the crowd. I love the crowd. They give me a little edge because I know them and they will be cheering for me. So I really love the crowd over there. But what gets me off sometimes is when I go into big crowds and the whole camera and different people there. I have to stay locked in. But I'm used to GC crowd and UE crowd and Micro crowd because it's just basically similar faces each year. Same faces, to be honest.
Okay.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
So, do we have any plans after college of like doing this for a career or what?
Yes, of course. I hope that I can receive something or get another chance to represent my country and also to be a part of some other club because I really want to take this to a next level, but I'm just hoping for the opportunity because I'll be ready and I'm willing to do the work. I just want the opportunity. That's all.
So Ash, I'm going to create Ash, I'm going to create a scenario for you. And I want you to tell me what you would do if you were in this role. Okay?
All right.
So it's a game 3, a best of 3 finals, right? And you're playing against the University of the West Indies. And it's a game 3, it's a deciding game, and it's a tied series. So you have 5 seconds left in the game, and the ball is in your hands. What is your go-to move? Which move you're gonna use for seal the victory to get another title for the college?
Probably just drive to the rim, hope for a foul, and if I don't get the foul, I spin off and use my other hand on the reverse. That's what
Game over, guys. Game over. You, thanks for coming.
Dragon, like a move that she use. Like a move that she use and beat it, Dragon, man.
Game over.
No, this is what Jagan would do. Jagan would drive and put it behind her back and then try to do something. I know, come on. That's what Jagan would do.
Yeah.
Ashalee, before you leave, girl, shout out some people who you feel to shout out to. You can even post up your Instagram and tell about Instagram or someone can follow you, and people know what's going on with Ashalee. All right, so you can shout out.
We're not ready for your leave yet, Ash. We're not ready for your leave yet. We have some questions. Like Anthony White posed a question when he's asking, which team do you think is your rival? Like, you have to bring an A game when you're ready to go face a team there.
Alright, it's basically UE. UE. Yes,
okay, so okay.
You know how we do. You know how we do.
There was a new player this year. I think her name from is it Tracy? I don't
Tracy Ann, yeah.
Tracy Ann. I love how she played. Oh my god. At one point I was playing her and I kept watching her moves instead of actually playing defense. So it's technical issue because sometimes they surprise us, but we still remain intact as a team.
Yes, shout out to Tracy Ann from the University of the West Indies. I saw her play too. She's a very interesting player, very exciting player. You can catch the game to female intercal games around mid-February, early March, I think it is. And they play 2 games. They play each other twice, sorry. So they play at their respective schools and then they play at the school that they are competing against. And then they have a semifinals and a best of 3 finals, I think. So you guys can check that out. Yeah, we need the support. The ladies need the support. You guys need to come and, support us because we have exciting players. We have Ashalee Gordon. She's the 2020 RGR Sportswoman of the Year. And we have other players like Tracy Ann Kelly, who she mentioned before. So it's good competition. You guys can come out and watch that.
We have another question here from Mr. Reed. How many teams competed in the female college league?
Before it was 4 until Exed Community College stopped. They dropped out in this season. Technically it was 4.
Okay. What are the
So
teams?
that means
So it's
I'm hoping that more colleges or community colleges enter into the game. It's not about always winning, but is developing the sport as well.
So
I
it's
hope that
GC Foster, UA, Michael,
and normally Exed.
and not that's come on, schools, come on, man. We need to do better. There's a lot of young, talented females players out there. So come on, man. We need to do better.
And just to add to that, we have girls that want to play, they're interested in playing, they just need an avenue. And we as females, I think we cannot just sit back and wait. We have to be proactive. We have to, form little groups, form little clubs, form little training grounds that we can go and play and compete so that we can help our game grow to the next level.
And we have another question here from Tanya B. How did it feel representing Jamaica? Putting on those colors.
Trust me, it's the best feeling ever, especially when you're on the court and you're hearing the anthem playing. It gets me emotional every single time. It feels like a new thing for me every time. But what I love the most is when I take the plane. I'm not lying. I really like taking the plane.
I hate taking the plane.
Trust me, I like taking the plane.
That's the only time I turn like a Christian is when I'm flying. Whenever I'm about to fly, I become a Christian and I give my life to the Lord and I pray that the land safe.
Really, you don't love the plane? You don't like the plane?
I wish I'd never have to take a plane, I swear.
Okay.
It would be nice to see more females come out on a regular pickup. Oh, so Fabian would love to see some more females that come play pickup ball. I don't know why I want to show him up. I don't get it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Fabs, I agree. Is that Fabs? Is that Fabian?
Yeah, that's Fabs. That's
yeah.
I agree. Ash, I have a question from one of your. I have a question from one of your fans. Let me see if I can find it on here. Okay, so Kevin 23 wants to know, how do you want your teammates to remember you?
One thing I always push is to try to be a role model, and someone who show the work, who show up, who is on time, and also someone who is hardworking. I want them to also show that, because we are a team. If one person is hardworking and the others are not, it won't gel, because it's not a one person sport. It's a team sport. And I want him to remember me as a inspirational speaker or someone who motivates them, to be honest, because I like to talk when it comes to motivating people.
Awesome. I see Gary have another question, but I'm not sure if you can answer that. You're saying that high school leagues have a lot of teams. What is stopping the transition? Why we only have 4 college teams and not like 10? But I don't think you can answer that. And Gary, that's a question for the stakeholders in these colleges. You get me?
Yeah, man. You have Intercal and all of the other entities who are involved need to find out that question. That answer.
Ashalee, you have another question from Carlington. Favorite female player?
Hi, Carlington. Hey, Breezy.
No, Jagger, no.
Answer the question. Don't just be real with yourself. Don't be pressured.
Will you want if that is locally or internationally?
Both. I need for both. I need for locally and I need for internationally.
Alright, for locally, I would say me. I say me.
You're a fan of yourself. I understand,
Good choice.
But all right, I guess you're keeping it PC. All right, cool. All right, you have any what's your favorite female player internationally?
Bird. Sue Bird.
All right. In the NBA.
Steph Curry. I think that's my husband.
Yeah, me J. At the boss that. At the boss that. You see me? At
Steph,
the
if you're
boss that. At the boss.
listening, Steph Curry, if you're listening to the chat, Ashalee is available for you. And you don't need to change that tattoo on your hand because she's an A. She's also
Perfect.
an A.
That's what I always say. That's what I always say.
All right. How supportive are parents, especially at high school level? Were your parents a part of, the
Um,
support cast? Or?
I grew up with my grandmother, right? And when I was in high school, she always told me this that if I don't keep up my grades, I should stop playing sport. And I told her I will not stop playing sport. So one thing I had to do was keep up my grades, and she supported me all the way through.
Okay, awesome, awesome. All right.
That's
So
great. That's great. That's great. And
I'm
from week, as we say,
actually,
Willie, family supporting the team, the players and better.
I believe
So
so
we
too.
need more support.
I believe so too. So Ashalee.
actually,
All right,
go
go
ahead,
again.
please.
Go ahead. You sure?
Yeah,
You
I'm
sure?
sure. I'm sure, really.
Ashalee.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I don't know what to say right now,
All
to
right,
be
I'll go.
honest. Thank you.
I'll,
Really,
I'll
really.
go.
Yes.
Is there any advice that a coach or any coach has given to you that will always stay with you throughout your life? Is there any advice that you can share with us?
It's not much of an advice. I haven't received much of an advice, but just some little thoughts, some little words of encouragement, or when my coach speak to me, those little words I put big meaning on them. So especially when he said, "Come on, Ash, we need you right now. I needed to do this." I listen exactly. I want my coach to tell me exactly what he wants from me, and I do exactly what he wants from me. If he wants me to play defense, I will give him just defense, anything he wants. I think I'm more of an intrinsic motivator, so I kind of motivate myself in a sense.
Yeah, and what I admire about your game is that you don't take that much time to get productive. Some players come in the game and they try to warm up, or they don't really get warmed up until the second quarter. I mean, as you enter the game, it's 10 points just like that. I mean, you take no time to get it going, and that's what I admire about you. I always tell my coach that you can't blink when you're guarding action, because that's just the small amount of time she needs to just get to be productive. You have to always be in tune with you on the court. You have to follow your track you. You can't blink. You have to stay focused here, because I mean, once you turn your head and look back, 20 points, game over. So I mean, kudos to you. Congrats. Continue to work hard, and continue to do what you do.
Is there
Actually, before you leave, yeah, anything you want to say to younger players who want to join basketball, or who play basketball but them need to stay motivated? Anything you want to say to them, and what them should do to stay motivated?
Or if you like the sports, continue to work hard because the sports is fun. Everything about it is just total fun. Um, Try to work out as much as possible. Try to be the best version of yourself, and it doesn't matter where you are. Just keep showing up. Keep giving your best effort because what you want, you will achieve it as long as you work hard.
Actually, if you look down on the screen, you also see a question from Chantel Downer. How has the
Yes,
sports changed
Chantal.
your life?
To be honest, sports is my life. If I don't play sports, I don't feel like I really have a purpose. It just starts to become a part of my life. Right now in this quarantine, I'm not really playing anything. I try to work out as much as possible because sometimes I feel like I can't find myself. So sports has changed my life tremendously. It have given me different opportunities. It's just basically my whole life. I don't know what I would do without playing sport, basically.
Ball is life. Ball
Yes,
is
ball is
life.
life.
So Ash, thanks for giving us
As I
that
said,
interview, and I hope that you can come back when you reach the WNBA are playing overseas, and yeah, would I like for you to come give the interview another interview.
A part two.
Part 2, 3, 4,
All
5.
right, so I want to enjoy yourself a day. Stay quarantined and stay safe. You and your
Thanks for
family, all right?
coming on.
All right, thank you. Same to you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Ash.
People, that's Ashalee, one of Jamaica's top female player. As the Dragon said, she was the female player of the year. And now we're going to go to another interview, and we kind of don't really need introduction for this person. This person is all around in basketball, and he's a coach. He's a analyst. He's there. He's a teacher to the sport.
Everything, everything, all around.
We don't need for you don't need no introduction. It's him, Willie. So
yeah, man, we're still gonna do it.
Introduction.
We're gonna bring on Simon Brown, Simon the writer from Action Jamaica. Welcome, Simon.
Hey, Timo.
Hey,
Timo, what's up?
Hey, Katie, you are going. Damn, man. Everybody hear me clear? I don't have my internet.
Yeah, man, we're hearing you clear. You're coming through.
What's up, sir?
Bless up, everybody. Bless up, everybody listening in. Bless up to the panelists. Big up Gary, wherever I'm there. Interview, when doing big things. I remember being there right at the start, and I love the growth.
Yeah, man, you inspire me. If nobody knows if nobody knows, Simon was the first person to shoot an interview video with me, Gary, and Flimon. We were super nervous, and Simon was like, "Yo, just be on yourself." You see me? You got this. So Simon, big shout out, big thanks. Yeah, man.
Simon, I know you do a lot of things in basketball, but I want you to tell the viewers about you, Simon. You not hearing?
Boy, I don't even know where to start, but I guess I will just deal with I will just deal with the simple things, which is most of the basketball world know me as a coach. I started coaching is actually really funny because my degree is actually in English, so people know me as a teacher first. And then when I went to Georgia to teach language and literature, I met up with my coach while I used to basically work out with the team, a way of just exercising play ball. Barnes will remember, Barnes might not remember, but I was on the bench when Georges and JC used to have those semi-finals and quarter-final matchups when it was Barnes and Cruiser, And then I remember coming back to team, just link, say, yo, I don't help the team, why don't try coaching? And then he introduced me to Remike, and I did my level 1 course about 2009 or 2010. I can't remember exactly which year. Might have even been 11. And then after getting my level 1, I was the assistant coach for Georges a few years. Won a few under 16 and under 14 titles as assistant coach. And then, hello?
Continue. Was Gary's just? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Right, and then the transition really that made me take basketball even more serious. I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but while being assistant at Georges, it was Ricardo Johnson, Mini-Me, that brought me on to be assistant at Upper Room. And then I started meeting a lot more people, getting more into the basketball world. And after that now, I really got introduced to just basketball people, camps. I've moved on to Meadowbrook as the head of basketball programs here. I'm coaching now. And I also have a company called Action Jamaica, which does marketing for athletes, talents, or anyone who wants to promote what they do.
Okay. All right. So Barnes had to exit the conversation, but we brought back Gary, so
yeah. It's all good. I don't know if Kimoya or Barnes mentioned to the viewers that this I won't even call it an interview. This discussion with a brother, which is Simon, is really about development. Yeah, it's really about development. So For the viewers, we want positive feedback, things that we can use to uplift the sport. And I think, and not think, I know for a fact that Simon has been around for so long and very knowledgeable in this field. And it's just a pleasure to have him here so we can have this discussion. All right. You mentioned about being coach. Give the viewers some background. What is your greatest accomplishment in basketball, if you were to look back?
I mean, greatest is that's like trying to debate who is the best or what is the best.
I don't know. Yeah, I continue.
I would probably more look at favorite moments. Definitely, I would look at my favorite moments, and I think I have three. I think I have three favorite moments. You know, one of them was my first under-16 title as assistant coach at George's. That was a very big moment for me, just being part of a championship team. There are a good amount of under-16 teams that I won with. You know, there was about 4 under-16 championship. I think my favorite one was 2014, I think, where we went undefeated. We won every single match. And one of the hardest games we played was the All Ireland final, which was the very last one. And we beat Old Harbour's team, which had Joel Bailey on that team. And I won't ever forget, Joel Bailey got the final 3 and it hit the back rim and out, and then we whistled, and I just remember just feeling elated. My other 2 favorite moments would be winning the D1 with Majesty Gardens. I think that was a big moment for me because most people know me as an assistant coach. You know what I mean? So to take that title as the head coach, and then also to win the title with a team that a lot of people were calling uncoachable. You know what I mean? People were saying that Majestic Gardens couldn't, you know, they don't listen, they're unruly, whatever. And my aim was always basketball. And I knew that just my confidence as a coach, I know that after I analyze a situation and I figure out how to win a title, as long as the team listens to me, I believe that that team will win. You know? Many other little achievements that I liked, but I think my third favorite moment might seem small to some, but it was winning the preseason tournament with my Meadowbrook girls team.
Whoa.
And I think that was big because even though it was a one-day girls before, well, that was my second year, but you know, it was new venture co-girls, and Meadowbrook isn't really known to win anything in basketball. I don't know about back in the day, but even when I was at George's, we would see Meadowbrook and say, all right, that's a win, you know? And to actually bring a trophy home for that team was pretty special.
There's a question from the Jamaica interviews. I know it's supposed to be on the screen, looking down. Who did Majestic Garden beat in the finals?
Oh, their Reliance team, a very, very talented team. It was a very, very entertaining finals. It was a best of 3 that went all the way to game 3, and what I would call a sellout crowd. You know, really.
Would that be considered
crowd? It was a big game.
Would that be considered an upset?
I would think so. I mean, hear what? If we're going off of the term upset comes on who is projected to win, and if that is what we're going off of, I would say yes. I think even Coach Ludlow would say that if we were to go power for power, the teams were pretty well matched. You know, we had big men, we had shooters. The Reliance had big men, they had shooters. Reliance might have had a little more known depth, but over the season, I started to know what my bench could do.
Okay. All right, Simon. There's some glitch there.
What
All right, you're here.
can you
All
hear
right,
me?
everything is you're here.
Simon,
Yes, I'm here now.
you're freezing up a little bit because they're still cutting down those 5G antennas. So
Okay.
that's the
Uh,
issue.
all right, Simon. I don't think he's hearing us.
Yeah, Simon, you could probably leave the studio and come back in if
No, I
you're
hear you. I hear
lagging
you.
out. Okay.
Okay, all right, Simon.
I'm hearing.
Uh, I know. Okay, cool. The interview squad. When they talk about Action Jamaica, you're close friends to us because I can tell the viewers the first time we broadcast Action Jamaica was there to assist us. However, while going to do that first interview with Action Jamaica, I realized that you had balls in your car, you were getting refreshment together, you were about to do this interview for us, but kids were coming in shortly after. What keep you motivated? What keep you going to try and give back so much? Because sometimes I'm looking at you and I'm saying Simon is really giving his all to this. What keep you
I agree.
motivated?
The kids. It has to be the kids. You know, I mean, I'm very blunt when it comes to certain things. You know, and what I've done even while at Meadowbrook, but call it Action Jamaica All Stars, which is before Corona. Anybody would tell it. For the past 3 years, basically every morning, barring a reason, my training camp or my basketball camp happens Saturday mornings at Middle. Every Saturday morning. You know, if there's a break, it would be like, yo, I'm extremely tired taking a break, but there's no scheduled stop. You know, I work it out with the principal that Saturday mornings from 7:30 to 10. And been going at it non-stop. It's not just Meadowbrook. It has been open to any school before. Not just before, but continuously. Like there are many players that I could big up. Even like right now, I would even big up Pashan. I would big up Tadre. I would big up Liam from Campion, Johnny from Campion, Matty from Campion. A whole bunch of different players who have gone. Gail, definitely Gail. You know, I mean, a lot of the Georges players, especially. There are a few from JC as well. You know, I mean, I can't list out everybody, but the idea is that those players have come to my camp, gotten better, won championships. You know, NBL players have come there Saturday mornings. You know, like even Daniel Martillier will tell you that he used to come Saturday mornings. Fian who went to Monique came Saturday mornings. A lot of people used to come Saturday mornings just to develop. And my thing is, if we don't have something consistent, we're not going to get any further.
I know that when you mentioned camp, I normally have I know your name always come to mind first. Is there any other camps around who is doing similar to you that you'd just like to give a shout out and use this platform to?
Definitely Stumble.
Okay.
Stumble camp down Saturday morning. So basically, Simon, you've been creating a lot of your own competition.
Fair to say.
Yeah. It's actually something that I cost my Meadowbrook players whenever they don't come Saturday morning training. I say, look, you don't come Saturday morning training at Meadowbrook, and here's somebody from another school coming here, getting better and playing better than you. But I mean, everything is a work in progress.
Simon, your time is almost up, and I didn't even get to ask you a question.
We have a lot of time. We have time to go.
Oh, we have time.
Why are you running me? Why are you running me?
Why are you running, Simon, sir? It's just about 5 minutes. Okay.
Simon, I know that the ISA Schoolgirls League was still going on, and it had to be cancelled or postponed. I'm not sure. How were you guys impacted by that? Because I knew that you guys were gunning for the title. You had a good team. Talk to us about that as a coach and what your players are going through right now that, you know, their season has come to an end and they were not able to control the results.
Well,
did you hear?
Yes, I think. Yeah.
I heard the question. Firstly, I would just say that it has been cancelled. What really finalize the decision of canceling it was the fact that it was being postponed. It was being postponed pending the government's decision. And when the government decided to end the school year until to not restart school until September, it therefore means that we won't be able to gather as a team to even train or gather to have the competition. So it's definitely cancelled. Why I would have is something that I think is a problem, is a little bit more communication transparency, because even though I'm not worried about hearing it from certain people that that it's done, I like knowing that I got this email, I got this letter. But I would say that it's definitely cancelled, and if for some reason ISA jumps up and says they're going to try it in the summer, I would have to talk to my principal about that.
All right.
In response to what you said, otherwise, in response to what you said about what they're going through, my team is devastated. But as a coach, as much as I'm sad that we didn't get to go for the title, what I was working on was bigger than just a title, and that is the part that I'm sad. So, for example, I didn't get to document all of the games that were coming up that I wanted to document to send off to coaches. I'm thinking about the transition of my players. I didn't get to work on certain talents that I work on the ball handling, if they get scholarships that be ready for that transition. Win or doing well in the competition was also something I wanted to market to younger girls. But with no tournament happening, that also has canceled the under 15 girls project that was in the works. So that actually is hurting me a little bit more, because what I could have done through example with the team that I had now can't be given to the younger generation. So it really hurts me there as a coach.
Okay. All right. To get down to the meat of the matter and what we're really here about in regards to development, I'm just going to throw out some competitions, some leagues that are going on in Jamaica, as you would know, and how can we improve, and what are we seeing what we see going on that is going on good, not only the bad we're highlighting, but what is good about it. Simon, a lot of talk is being made regarding mini basketball, to have kids start play the game as young as age 6. The approach is to do workshop with the coaches, and hopefully after the pandemic they can make a run towards getting the basketball to be played with the mini. You have been in basketball for a long time. What's your experience? Do you ever remember having a good primary league, and how can we address this issue?
All right, I'm a very blunt. Can you hear me? I noticed things spinning. Yeah, right. My biggest problem isn't even. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
All right. My biggest problem. All right. To focus on what you're asking, how can we develop mini or getting kids to play at a younger age? The first thing is, I think that people in the basketball think that Jamaica is a basketball country, and we have to remember we're not a basketball country. You understand? So when we're marketing the sport to other people, we have to figure out, one, how to get the attention of people who haven't even chosen the sport of love yet. Meaning, when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of basketball. 91, 92, 93, we used to watch Jordan on cable or on TV. My mother was a Jordan fan, right? But there was no basketball showing up around me. I didn't know where courts were. At my prep school, nobody was having any basketball games. There was no rims at Mona Prep. I don't even know if there are any there now at Mona Prep. So what I think we need to do, we need to put rims in schools. Even if we have somebody with a truck who have a portable rim, and we just start
Yes.
schools that one day introduce the sport, right? We spend a lot of time trying to make coaches into FIBA coaches. We're trying to make coaches into star world class coaches. When at the end of the day, we need kids playing basketball. If you look on even Michael Jordan, some of the top NBA players, they got introduced to basketball not from no NBA level coach, from a little PE man at them elementary school who has a rim and them have a ball and them say, here, go shoot this basketball. So you're saying mini clinics, all of these things that you're talking about needs money. And if we don't have the money, we need to do the simple thing of putting a basketball in the youth them hand. So we need to visit primary schools and have a thing called a day of basketball, and just travel from different schools. And once a month, or whatever the timeline is, you just have a day of basketball at different schools. Just let these 5 and 6 year olds pick up a basketball and shoot it.
I agree, and they'll find out how fun it is. The thing with us, Starman, but then you even have a crate, you nail up on a light post and go shoot.
Yeah.
You understand? It was on every avenue, street ball, whatever. It's not that easy anymore, you know. It's football. You can't make use anything and play football. Cricket, all everything about basketball. Would I say kind of expensive? You know it.
No, definitely. I mean, unless you show it like that. You know, but it's not as easy as football as access. So what we have is all of these workshops, all of these clinics. It takes money, it takes time. So that one workshop you're going to plan is probably going to take 2 months to come together. And in those 2 months, you could have put a basketball in a 200 picnic hand.
So you're saying make it visual, balls to the players, hoops around, everywhere you turn, basketball is just in your face. You need to bounce a ball, you need to shoot a shot.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
So it's just getting the love, building the love.
Simon.
Yes, come on.
I have a question. Could you speak to like what can be done for development in rural areas? Because how do we ensure that, you know, representation and development covers not just, you know, urban areas, Kingston and St. Andrew, but it also transcends to some, you know, the rural areas. Because I personally, for me, I know a lot of female basketball players, but none from parishes like St. Anne, Portland. How do we ensure that these parishes are not, you know, excluded or ostracized from development, that development reaches all areas in Jamaica?
Well, the first thing that I would say is, in anything that you're trying to market, you have to do a market analysis. I haven't done a market analysis of these places, so I can't speak truthfully. I can't tell you that where Ashalee grew up, you can just go there and do this. I don't know what people's transport is like. I don't know where people are situated. I have one player who went to States from Meadowbrook, Natanya, and she would because the taxes are going up for sure. Yeah, and she might live from where ball is being played. Basketball might have to play at a certain time. The simple thing that I would say, Kimoya, that needs to be done, not just a market analysis, but we have to figure out a simple way of putting basketball out there. So, all right, just like Willie said, you can't just pick up 2 stones and kick a ball with basketball. You understand? So maybe we need to make a list of all the rural area schools that have a court. Okay. Where is that list? Who has that list? You understand? If you give me that list of all of the schools in St. Anne that has a court, and then we can rank it. We can rank the functionality of the court. You know, how many schools have a good 2-rim surface court? You know, how many schools have 1 rim? How many schools have a good surface but the rims need to fix? How many schools have rim but no backboard? You understand what I'm saying? Like that.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
When we get that information, then we can know. But
we need a something like a Harlem group chatters. You know, we'll go around in a different parishes and show them all
Yeah.
fun and
We have a
exciting.
court to show them it, pan. We
Court
can't just show them court up there. So
court
that way,
everyone.
so
Court them. If court that sent, if court that
Let's make
St. Thomas, court that everywhere. Once you have a court at St. Thomas, court that everywhere, man. St. Thomas have KFC, brother, and them have a court. Trust me, court everywhere. Simon,
all right.
some question.
Hold on. All right, cool. Go.
You sure?
Go.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you think about basketball at a national level? That's from Anthony White.
Good question.
Yeah.
Me I go say something flim and I go like, but me I go keep it real.
That's
I
why
think we're
you're
trying
here.
to force it. We're trying to force. Yeah, I think we're trying to force senior level basketball a little too much. The fact of the matter is we don't have funding, we don't have certain things. I'm not saying give up on it fully, but I do think that pumping all the money into an adult league is shortening money for the youth, and the youth is the future. I think at the national level we should be gathering and playing even pickup games. So what I think Jabba did with the conference, the under 16 conference games, where you had the
Everybody all over that. Yeah.
we need to have that monthly. We need to have that monthly, and then what we do with that monthly, yeah. But that costs money as well. But for example, me personally, and have monthly under 16 and under 14 national training camp and not have any. Calvin Martin has done a great job with the Division 1. Let the Division 1 be the thing. Let the Division 1 be the senior level thing, right? Because he has found a way where it's cost effective, it's not very expensive, right? And it's productive. And to be honest, the NBL doesn't feel any different than the D1 league, in my opinion, other than the fact that it was on.
That in itself is a problem, Simon. If it's not even feel any different. But as I said, you're keeping it real, and I like that. I like that. You're keeping it real. I'm still going down. There's a question before.
No, it's not really a question. That's just a shout out.
Currently has been such.
Agree.
Cool. Agree, Fabian. That's small and Fabian. Okay, cool. We need to get him on.
All I'm saying is this. Cancel the NBL, in my opinion. Put all that power, all of that job and money into the youth leagues. And then what will happen now is the best of the best will get scholarship opportunities. The ones who don't get those opportunities will still be here and developed. And they can become part of the NBL league 5, 6, 7 years from now. Let D1 be the top senior league level and make it will eventually reach there if you
All right. I just hope that you have been saying giving a lot of important points. So I hope that the necessary persons are persons who are supposed to be listening to these ideas are viewing this. I will stream it later. However, moving on, Simon, to Issa. We brought on Mr. Douglas Reed, and we mentioned the word Issa, and I'm a viewer. Someone WhatsApp me and say that they don't even know what Issa means. So for the persons who are watching who are not familiar with Jamaica, it's Inter-Secondary School Sports Association. When we talk about Issa, in regards to basketball, it governs the under 14, under 16, under 19, because that's how we play basketball in high school in Jamaica. So when we say Issa, it's Inter-Secondary School Sports Association for persons who are not in Jamaica. All right, moving right along. We're talking about development. Players at our, you mentioned the youth, under 14, under 16. I like to talk to Sam, as I said, it's not even an interview, it's a reasoning. I know for a fact that I'm kind of like a discuss. Sometimes when I go to the game and see that even some fundamentals are not being taught and some little things, and we are wondering, is it, and I don't want to question the coaching ability. I don't want to say it's lack of practice. I don't want to jump to conclusion. As you mentioned, you have to know the background before you make any thing. But what do you see when you go to games and see the under 14 talent? If you could we don't want to compare, but why not? Because we are trying to be better compared to our international standard. What's your view?
Well,
And how can we develop these players?
well, here's the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to, as we say, it's a reasoning. So I'm going to actually attack one of the things you said first. And I don't accept comparisons to the past that don't have something that I can look on. You're comparing it based on how you remember it, and memory is fallible. You might be remembering it a lot better than it might have actually been. The only thing that I can compare is there are players that you guys might really respect now. For example, my best example that I can use is Deshaun Boyd is one of the top players at intercal level, right? I remember Deshaun Boyd being one of my players that I won under 14 with. A year when CB went on sabbatical, so I was the head coach at Georges for that year. And Deshaun fundamentals was poor. It was behind him, couldn't really shoot. He was a tough player. He was taller than most. The All-Star game that you guys did for the interview, I remember Deshaun hitting like 4 threes in a row. Now, I say that to say that if we really were to go back to Deshaun's under 14 games, even when I played under 14 against Barnes and Cruz at them, the final score for those games was 25-30, which is the same thing happening with the under 14 games now. Not to say that it's good. I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm just saying that this comparison to what used to happen in the past, if you're not showing me footage of how great under 14 was back then I'm unable to say how much worse it is now. With that said, no, the opportunity to play basketball, just like I said a little bit earlier, is a lot low. A lot of these kids are just starting basketball. So you're saying coaches, yes, coaching could be better, but there are so many where they have players that they're trying to develop to make better, right? And they just literally don't have the time to put in. This is why we need more days of basketball, more kids clinics happening, because that one coach for that one school may only have 6 hours out of a whole week, right? What can you really develop for 6 hours? I will post a link in the group when I get a chance to. In 2015 or 16, I went up to New York to meet up with Michael Williams, and what he did was he carried me to high schools to watch how the high schools train, and he carried me to the Long Island top 100, right? When you looked at the top 100 high school players around the back, there were kids who were 6 and 5, at least 100 of them too, or at least 50 of them, doing pickup games, drills, things like that. I mean, these kids are engrossed in basketball from about 4 years old. So when we have a player who plays kickball team, you understand? Or because my Meadowbrook team, my under 14 Meadowbrook team, has probably 6 basketball players who come there for basketball out of 15.
Okay.
Those other 9 players is the tracksman who track season done, is a football player who football season done. You understand? Is a U2 him play another sport and him can't bother with the coach then. Okay. So when I throw them onto a court now, they're gonna look like trash.
Okay, all right.
And that's the thing. We don't have players.
All right, Simon. We realize that we need to have Simon back. We have so many questions, but we have a limited amount of time. However, I still want to get in about 2 or 3 questions before you go, Simon.
I'll try to answer them quicker.
Yeah, all right. The thing about it, just to recheck out with what you're saying in regards to comparison. My comparison, maybe you misinterpret what I'm saying, so I just want to be clear. And I'm going to use a scenario to explain. when I was at GC Foster, we won 3 titles undefeated for the 3 years. We were just dominating. We have a Shooty, Peddler, myself, a player from even BVI, and we were just dealing, basically walking over the league. And we're at a training session with Mr. Remiki, and like Mr. Remiki was like asking me to do like extra, like say post move back and forth, and I was like, Sir Remiki, nobody in college no can mark me, so why me I put so much emphasis due to the fact, and I never forget him look at me with that look to say that if I only want to be the best player in Jamaica at my position. So right there and then, I realized that we are comparing the wrong things. We are comparing players who are even out here instead of track and field coaches would love to have the best, train someone to Olympic level. We as basketball coaches, are we looking that far to say we want to bring a player from where they are now to the NBA, or we are just going through the motion to win couple Jamaican titles? I think when we are comparing or when we are training, I would say, with the wrong mentality and giving the kids them to show, because we want them to be at that level. I can say I produce an NBA player. All right, so that is what I was saying, the comparing. I wasn't comparing like back then in Jamaica, but comparing to like a 14-year overseas. Moving.
I did misinterpret a little bit. Continue.
Yeah. All right. With the female league, I know Kimoy is passionate about that. But I still need to ask. A while ago, we mentioned to Ashalee, very good athlete. I know you know her, and she has been playing basketball for some time. About how many teams were in the college league, and she mentioned 4. However, we realized that there are so many teams in the high school league. What is going on with the transition? What can we do? Can we encourage these colleges to ensure to register a female team? Can we make it mandatory? You think that would be the next step to say you have to have a female team with your male team?
Speaking for Simon, yes.
You're speaking for Simon.
Yes. So,
yeah. It would be great, but I think.
Did he hear the question?
Yes, he did.
Yes,
oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was saying, what I'm saying is, Kimoya, is I wish it was as simple as I'm making it sound. You understand what I'm saying? Because the fact of the matter is, these same players that we want, or these same schools that we want to enter female basketball leagues, where are they getting the players? You understand? Are they giving scholarships to the basketball players who are playing in the female league here?
For real,
you understand?
For real.
And if they're not giving scholarships, what are the players going to schools to do? So, for example, I have at least 2 or 3 people on my Meadowbrook squad now who are considering UTEC, right? But if they go to UTEC on an academic scholarship, they have to have a certain GPA in order to keep that academic scholarship. You understand? And I've been to the collegiate struggle myself, and I remember having an academic scholarship, dropping my GPA below a certain thing, and just being so stressed that I don't go out, I don't want to do nothing, much less to have a rigorous training program. So what I think if we want to have an effect on the female development, I think fostering our youth programs for the females, meaning an under 15 program, I think is a first start, and then developing the female league, like how they were trying to have a WNBL, figuring out how to make that a proper transition, I think is a much easier process than forcing schools per se to do something. You understand? Because if UTEC don't have 15 females who want to play basketball, them not entering the league.
Okay, for real. All right. That's you're talking facts. More time has invested to learning basketball basic. We need to find ways in which skills will have this passion for basketball. Yes. So we all talk about the love. We want them to get that love. Before we go, one more thing I like to talk about. We mentioned a lot of things have been said due to other interviews. Simon, about the infrastructure, the courts, the poor condition that we have out here. However, I realize due to the fact that we have even poor courts out here for the athletes or the players them to perform on, there's a lot of medical staff at these games. I realize, and for example, you work closely with St. George's Manning Cup team where there was a incident, and like no, I think every football game, there must be an ambulance there or some form of medical team ready to go on court. What is your view on that in regards to our D1 league, our NBL, or how can we develop it so we look at it on a professional level to say that all stakeholders should play a role and everything should be in place
Money.
for these games?
Money is needed.
Money. And this is why, as I tell you, that and I mean, I know it's going to sound bad, and I know it sounds like I saying scrap it, but all of these costs
He's
that have
gone.
been put into leagues.
Simon, what's happening?
No,
Can you hear me?
the children says scrap, the internet just scrap and then bring him back. So yeah, we be careful.
Can you hear me? I'm hearing you though.
Yeah, you're here now. You can go. You can speak. We are seeing it too. It's all good now.
I'm not saying scrap all. I'm not saying scrap everything senior, but I'm just saying this is another example. There's a certain level of money that we need to just have in the budget before we go ahead and try to force all these senior leagues. Make the division, the divisions that have been doing the senior leagues, keep that. I know Western basketball has their leagues pat. You understand? I know Division 1 down in Southern has been pat. Make that be senior level. And then we can put all of that funding into the kids' development. You understand? And even in the clinics.
Okay, well, all right. So, all right.
So I think we need more. I think medics are needed. Medics are definitely needed.
Okay, all right. As I said, this is not an interview. This is a discussion. We're hearing you, Simon, with our brother Simon Brown, the writer. Him also is AKA the writer, Action Jamaica. Coach so many teams. I don't know where to start. George's back. So listen, he's just a face for basketball in Jamaica in regards to development and always willing to assist. So for that, we are really glad that you're here with us, Simon. And
yeah, man. We appreciate it.
I mean, thanks for coming, Simon.
I mean, I'm your biggest fan is saying thanks for coming, Kimoy over there.
Big up the family, big George family, big up the couple.
Okay. All right then. And that's Simon, Coach Simon.
Yeah, big up everybody. For those who have.
Okay. Still
all right. So we probably have to bring on the other person. Right. Simon, we're gonna send you backstage. All right.
All right, cool.
All right, so Gary, who's up next?
I'm Colleen Nattie. Someone up. This individual. What can I say? Always in tune to basketball. Always present when she can make it, and she have a passion for the game. I know that she's working alongside Jabba in regarding marketing. So, this session we are going to call it Basketball Marketing 101. Because we just talk about development with Simon, so now we are moving into marketing to see how we can bring this sport to where we want it to be. So, Colleen.
Hold on, let's bring in Colleen. Colleen is there.
Hi.
How's everything?
Everything's good so far. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, I saw you making some posts. I've been watching. You have been watching behind. And see what is going on so far.
Thank you. Yes. When I got wind of your program, I was like, I love the fact it's marketing. You know, I strongly believe good publicity, bad publicity. It's in between. It's still marketing.
Okay. Willard, I don't know if our next guest is there.
He is.
Okay, all right. We are going to bring on our next person to assist with this marketing conversation, this discussion that we need to have. I think you might know him. His name is Nron Morris. To give some background, Nron is my big brother. Willard Billberger, big brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a view. He's your big brother. Introduce us to. He introduced me to basketball in the sense to say, Gary, you need to play center. You're physical, you're aggressive. Come and display. He also play for Georgia's A League. So we have a lot of Georgia's persons today. He play for UA. He play D2 for Georgia's Slayer. He also played for UA, as you mentioned. He was the games committee chairman. He was also a part of the planning team for Caribbean Basketball Championship in 2006. Worked closely with Premier League clubs and the association from the inception, and a number of different sports and sponsorship titles underneath his belt. He's just someone that we need to hear from, basically. So can you bring forth Nron on set, Willard?
Nron.
Mr. Wells. Really wonder. Great.
Him alone can't do anything because I him make with there. Nobody sport and everything. Yes. How's everything?
Good afternoon, everybody, and everything is as good as can be right now, all things considered. Kimo, bless up yourself. Born out of the belly of basketball, literally.
Hey.
Big up yourself. You know what I mean? As a Gary, I make some big shots, same unstoppable in an intercolor.
Sparks.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, it's what it is, you know what I mean? It's just development and growth. You know what I mean? Just starting from a 6'6" giant who just never know which way to go. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. This is okay.
No, that's true. You know what I mean? I'm sure Willie would say he would be unstoppable if he grew to your size.
Well. I don't think, yeah, but
into the horizontal route.
Nron. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I had certain people I would not be here talking to you guys.
Yeah, maybe you'd be up on a podcast to talk from having made it to the NBA position.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Let's we have I don't know if you have been following the program or hope you have been following the page. Through discussion with other interviewees, the main thing was marketing. And we're saying persons keep saying that they don't know about basketball. The marketing is not up to scratch, and there's a lot of things we can do better. So that's why I really invite you guys here so we can talk to these viewers and persons who have the ears to hear and see how best we can uplift the sport. The first thing come to mind when I hear about marketing is branding. Colleen, a part of the marketing team for Java. What would you say when you hear the word branding and to compare it to basketball? What is going on in Jamaica in regards to that?
All right. So just to clarify, I am marketing with the development committee.
Okay.
Right. So just to explain why, there is Java marketing, and I wasn't able to fully commit. And I'm very passionate about the sport. So my first rule is, if you don't have the time, don't commit to something if you can't give your all or 100%. However, the president came and said, you're still good for development. Development needs to have its own marketing strategy and development, because when we approach various sponsors, there needs to be some marketing strategy. And a lot of times we find that the marketing team may be busy trying to get the bigger sponsorship, and the developmental team wants to take it back to grassroots marketing. So in regards to your question about brand, so I'm a former brand ambassador. And the first thing is that you have to think about what is it that your clients would want to see. And when I started to remember, when I was playing basketball and my involvement, the first thing it was fun, family-oriented, approachable, transparent, and opportunities. And throughout Jamaica history, those fundamental reasons for branding has not changed. However, what has happened is that with the invention of social media and brand marketing and digital marketing, Java has not been able to keep up, not because they haven't seen what is happening, but because they don't have enough persons to help them to move into the future. So that's where the disconnect is coming in. And then through the history of the association, there have been various unfortunate events and situations that has impacted the image of Java. And therefore, you find that while they still have a brand that wants to represent what we had mentioned before, we're recognizing that the history is coming back to haunt them. So hence, we do have that wonderful family-oriented fun, scholarship opportunities, and all around, good engagement. However, because of the history, the brand, that the image of Java now, we realize that that is disconnect between the mission and what the actual vision of the brand is.
And right now, I would like to just get Nron involved right away. Nron, with that being said, and you realize where we are now on the ropes. Basically, we're taking a beating in regards to what took place again. How can we revive that and get a good uppercut to start fight back in regards to getting our brand out there?
In all sports and in all technical areas of life and just life in general, fundamentals are important. And basketball and sports, the fundamental asset of sports is the athlete. And if we're not having the best potential athletes out there, then we're always going to have this struggle, this up and down, this ebb and flow, this roller coaster ride regarding attracting quote unquote sponsorship and attention, positive attention. Simon spoke earlier about the Pee-wee leagues and all the rest of it, and development, which is very solid and concrete. He has a slight anti-senior basketball posture, but senior basketball is also very important because that's, the youngsters have to have something as a target to work towards. It's like for us from Harborview days when we were super young and not even start playing basketball, there was the Harborview Lakers. We can always remember Harold Davis. Harold Davis is now I think I saw him on news as deputy CEO for Jampro, and I'm sure that throughout the up and downs, throughout the years of the ebb and flow of Java and all the rest of it, he has been consulted on many occasions and stuff like that. But then you have the politics mixed into it and stuff like that, which, is a Caribbean culture problem, where the administrators are way more important, are given way more credence than the athletes themselves. We don't see a lot of features and things being done on the athletes. But I worked in football. I work in football for quite a bit and had the opportunity of actually sitting and talking with Jamaican-born legend John Barnes, and his major problem, one of the points that he made all the time was that we always know who the president of JFF is, and the media facilitates that all the time without being able to say who's the number 10 for Jamaica. We're talking about football, you know what I mean? And you don't know who the number 10 for Jamaica is. You don't know who the striker is. You don't know the striker's story. You don't know this, but you know everything about Captain Burrell or whoever the JFF president is. And the culture of media and the culture of us where the administrator is most important is something that has crippled us, right up years. We have to focus on the athletes, and administrators have to be just key on putting the athlete first at all time. We can skip over to netball. Netball has a more entrenched culture than basketball. And Simon spoke about the whole situation with hoops in schools. There are way more netball poles across the island than there have ever been basketball poles, especially now, I'm supposing, because as Willie pointed out, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, a crate, a rim, if you have to get something welded by the popular welder, to get it done, because
coming to welder.
the passion for the game was just there. How do we get that raw passion back into the game? Because if basketballers are not watching basketball, then how other people going to watch basketball, like in real life?
I've been saying this. I like, we meet up every Saturday and Sunday and we play basketball and we talk and all of them things. And I say, yo, a game I go on to the upper stadium. Yo, I don't have time to go watch that. And I'm like, yo, if you are basketball, a fan of the sport, no one comes to support. How it go grow?
I have a basic mantra. I have a mantra that I learned, from a sports administrator. Her name is Patricia Garrell. She's the manager at PLC now. She work with volleyball, netball, and all the rest of it. She work with basketball too. And it's be a friend before you need a friend.
Okay.
Being a friend before you need a friend means just supporting the other sports. You know what I mean? You're not even supporting your own sports. But when you turn up, which is why Tivoli basketball program was such a model program, because the basketballers had to go watch the netball games. And when the netball game finished, the netballers come over and watch the basketball games. And so the support was always there. Another model basketball unit, was Urban Knights. Urban Knights gave the uniformity. Urban Knights, put the Giants on show, because that is one of the major assets of basketball. You got big boys, you got big boys, big girls who you can put those on, they are eye-catching, as long as they're above average, it just is what it is. These are the assets that you're supposed to be using instead of being forced to look at the president's face in every single news clip and all the rest of it. We're not seeing no little, what do I call it now, small scale, even documentary about Mugabe Thomas playing in church shoes and socks and all the rest of it, and to reach where he has reached and playing for national scenes, etc. We have seen so many talents pass through that we don't capitalize. And this is not just about basketball, it's about all the other sports. The other sports are more popular. They get away with being okay, so to speak, and they're still fighting for sponsorship. Now, how when basketball steps into the arena and you have the big guns of netball who, are way more embedded, and then you have football, how basketball is going to match up,
Colleen.
So Nron, you have stated so many facets as to where we have fallen short as an administration. And, it's coming to the forefront. But let's take it back a little bit to the days of Crate Hoops and a welder. At that time, it was the Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson era, where even TVJ, CVM, JBC at the time was showing it. Basketball was on everybody's TV, so it was at the forefront. So what you find is that the kids who at the time didn't have tablets had no other choice but to be curious about other sports. Even myself as a girl, I played cricket. I even did wrestling because of WWE. I wanted to be gold dust. Do you understand? So you have to understand that TV influences as well, but also the support of the parents. One of my most memorable moments was when John Stockton came to Jamaica. That was amazing for me. And I had hurt my knee, and he picked me up and allowed me to shoot a hoop.
Utah Jazz, them Utah like Jazz, Jordan.
Right, but I still remember that. But at the time, the team, that was what was there. But now we're in the era of tablets, and where the kids are more at home and the parents are not truly available to be a part of it and encourage it. So we acknowledge that is definitely a problem, because we're now competing. And that's what we're trying to say. We want to go back to the drawing board, but most importantly, a lot of persons have stepped away from basketball because of disappointment with the administration. And I'm really happy that Nron brought that up. Everybody is so focused on what the administration is not doing it, instead of stop and asking themselves, how can I do? What can I do? Let's take something as a sponsor. I have pitched sponsorship for the league. And they're like, what is one of your greatest products? The NBL is one of Jaba's greatest products, because we were on national TV showing games live. That is the history of the NBL. And not only that, it's something that the kids them can look forward to doing, representing their country. These are supposed to be our top players. So you can't say you have to nix it. So when I say to them, this is the NBL, and we're talking about family-oriented fun, and I pitch this, and they say, okay, let me come to an NBL game to see if I want my brand, because everybody now has to protect their brand. With the advent of social media, people are not willing to tie their brands with certain things. I don't know if you remember last year when they had commented on Mr. McLeod, and somebody used a company's profile to write "Go Goldfish." that person was immediately released from his job, because that is defamation of the brand. And persons are now able to just, at the click of a button, basically ruin a brand because of poor service, lack of communication. So you have to be very careful. So when I say, come and check out a game, come and take a look, the kids are passionate. So we have the players playing, you can see the passion, and let's say the coaches are being very professional, the table officials are being professional. Some people forget that basketball is not just the players, it's the entire facet, especially when it comes to brand marketing. So you have the players, you have the behaviors of the coaches, you have the table official conduct, even the water boy conduct, and then most importantly, the fans. Now, if I am a family, one moment, if I'm the family-oriented type of brand, and I come to your game, and all I'm seeing is ganja smoking, because at the time it was illegal, and then I'm hearing nothing but expletives, why would I want to tie my brand with you? So we need to understand that to get basketball to where it needs to get the necessary sponsorship, to encourage people, convince people to buy into our brand, it is a collective effort that needs to happen. And then the final one I want to touch on is the support. I remember when I was at Arden, everybody used to go to everybody game. So if you're a C team, you'll ask your parents to join. The girls, the B team will go to A league. And then you will have this group. And by the time it was the female league coming around, there was hardly anybody coming to our games. But the females were religiously going to the men game. You understand how many men can say they saw a young female athlete and they worked with them? They'll come to their training and help to teach some fundamentals. So a lot of persons have a lot of things to say. However, where is the support? And support doesn't have to always be in cash or kind. We are asking for time to come and help the sports to grow.
Okay. Colleen, as you mentioned, regarding competition that I was about to get to, in our interview with Mr. Douglas Reed, who is the coordinator for Southern Conference, ISA, we mentioned about getting for example, NBA is the biggest league basically now. You will say that NBA get a boost when Jordan came on board and the face and the market Jordan. I think Nike surpassed Adidas because of him signing to Nike, and he was just that person. Would you encourage the organizers to try and market a face for their leagues? Because I realize that there is no marketing in that avenue to give these young youths, as you mentioned,
but again,
to aspire.
Gary, is the same point that I made at first. If we don't focus on the athletes and put the athletes to the forefront, then it's hard to constantly have a good product, because remember that before Jordan, you had the Oscar Robinson, you always have
Magic Johnson,
always have the stories, always have a story, which is why I'm glad to see where you guys have started off at the micro level, just in terms of, I know Willie usually posts a little clip or two from a game, from his phone and all the rest of it, because having some sort of history, some sort of documentation is what makes a difference. US sports and US sports marketing is all about a story. You have to be telling a story. You have to, just like how I start out from Harborview, Rocky Park. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That is our little story. And we have footballers story from there. We have the Damani Ralphs who went on to be rookie of the year.
All of them,
you talk about the small story and telling the story, because if we don't start, it's almost like we have to look to like revamp the culture. We have to revamp the culture of sports and sports management, literally from the grassroots up. Colleen mentioned it earlier, literally starting from the grassroots. I am not about bashing any administration, because at this end, the administrations are administrators. Most of them are political appointees. You know what I mean? And we end up in a position where, like the general politics that we have, where we look towards a politician for every answer. And that can't be the way. In the discussion we had with the referee yesterday, Abdul, I had put forward. I think I tried to make but if we have a problem with referees, referee association need to meet with the coaches and the star and senior players and captains who are respected. Have an open discussion. Where you don't like about my refereeing, where you don't like about my style of playing. You know what I mean? Where referees are concerned, I can't, Pete Matthews is just Pete Matthews. He was my coach for many years, learned a whole heap from him and all the rest of it. But as a games committee chairman, I know that UWI Interhall finals, he had to be the referee, just based on the fact that most of the times you're going to have the best players playing in the finals, and the best players have a certain general respect for his calls and all the rest of it, But Pete won't be around forever, So it's all about at all times trying to make sure that you have a new person coming up, and what's his name,
Yeah.
Ratty and others who played the game, went in and became referees,
Okay.
we have to start learning from our other sports. For volleyball,
Okay.
each and every volleyball club has to have a trained referee, a trained umpire in a pool. So when they meet for a tournament, they umpire for the next game and all the rest of it. We have to do these small things that don't cost. I know Willie always saying, boy, it need money, it need money, it need money. But where we are now, meeting here in this kind of forum and the things that you have done so far, social media and just putting the game out there, never cost you nothing but the same old phone where you have on, sometimes. I made it up anyway.
One plus. All right, this one is for Colleen. Colleen, we would love to just snap our fingers and everybody play their part. We love to just make everything but we know the reality that it's not going to happen. Is there any plan you guys have to bring forth to the viewers that you would like to start or to push for? Because we would like the players' involvement, we like the organizers to do the right thing, the proper court, everything, but that cannot just happen like this. Is there anything you want to let our viewers know that you have planned or you like to bring to them coming out of this pandemic?
Okay, so just to add, before I got involved in this, JABA had done a SWOT analysis, which was very good, where they met with various stakeholders, where persons got a platform to basically speak their grosses, speak about the lack of stats, the referees' performances, not enough certification of coaches, not enough dedication for marketing, and basically all around no publicity whatsoever. What we have done is that we have been starting to look around for who are the dedicated supporters of basketball. So for example, the interview, your team came up and it was said, for years, you guys have been on your own doing stuff for basketball. We looked at Simon as well with his Action Jamaican program. These are things that persons thought about, but were not able to execute. And people need to know this. While the executive are there, they don't necessarily have the capabilities or the swaying power to convince people. So what I have proposed to JABA is this. Let us approach various entities and persons who have been promoted. And for example, let's take Calvin Martin. That was one of my biggest grosses. Calvin Martin page had more about basketball than the Jamaica Basketball Association page. And we have agreed that that is something that needs to stop. However, we realize that we can't get enough persons. So the first thing that we have been doing is asking persons to volunteer, not full-time volunteer services. And I said to them, in this regard, you can't just come to people and say, volunteer. What are you volunteering for? So the developmental committee developed a national development plan, because for basketball to move, you can't just say, ignore the seniors, ignore the juniors, forget about these players. Let's, out to the old, in with the new. We realize that it has to be a collective effort, and plans are put in place for coaches improvement, referee development, leagues and camps, youth development, and youth is mini female youth, as in under 22 to 19, 19 to 22, and then under 19 competition. How can we get basketball playing more? So we decided that we're definitely go back to a grassroots thing. However, we've been asking for volunteers to even give 1 hour of their time. We want to partner with the interview. In regards to the mini, we were able to identify a mini commissioner who was able to go to Mexico in the event that we could have a national mini basketball league. Additionally, we have gone to InSport for funding for that national basketball league, and they loved it and they thought it was a brilliant idea. However, we were waiting for funding, and during that time, the mini program was able to get their commission and sent them away to a FIBA program that was hosted in Mexico. So we are doing the most basic things. And then another thing that we did for the summer camps, we realized that they were clashing, and therefore we were able to organize the calendar that there was no clash and everybody could attend. However, we realized that publicity is still a major issue. And we have asked persons to come on to help us manage social media. We have asked even Simon in regards to our website. So we have taken all of those things under advisement and is about to hopefully can roll out a good and comprehensive social media marketing strategy to even just get the words out. In regards to player stats, you can notice that Java has been putting out player stats. The Western Conference has been doing really well with their Facebook page as well. It's just that we're trying to get everything in this one centralized area where people need to do it. However, we would want the viewers then to sign on and even like our social media pages so that, you know, these words can go out until we can start getting more funding. The more viewers that we have, it makes it seem as if basketball is really a cohesive community and that we're making a brand, as well as they can send us their information. Another thing is that we recognize that persons are more interested in sponsoring a program instead of Java. So we are encouraging persons to come and give donations towards programs of interest. So that's the current plan right now that we're hoping to execute.
Okay, for Nron, there was a question earlier from Fabian. I don't know if Willie can get it back. At what point do you believe in revamp, as in to totally rebrand? When you realize a brand is being, what's your take on that? I think Fabian may ask a question. Shaba should we should rebrand in basketball, changing the names, everything, because it reached that point. See it here.
You know, the whole rebranding position is a weird one too, because I mean, Colleen is going through it. Colleen was just explaining to you what the development committee is doing regarding rebranding as is right now. You know, in terms of us reaching out to all the assets. People like you guys and, you know, all the assets that are out there, you know, so that in and of itself is a different approach, or the approach being revisited, you know, but again, it's about consistency, sticking to the guns of it and all the rest of it, you know. And remember, you know, at day's end, you know, the biggest part about marketing is the product, you know, and what you have as the product and what you're actually trying to put out there. You know, so, you know, the marketing team has to be helped by the operations and technical team to ensure that there are things there to put out, you know. So if it's a situation where you're tapping into ensure that, all right, you're calling Simon on a Friday evening or a Thursday evening to say, boy, how's the training going to be looking, where you're training, you know, are the kids properly uniformed, you know, what kind of drills they're going to be doing, etc., etc. Having a little format to work with, and then going out to shoot that and being able to put that forward, you know, getting permission from the parents, engaging the parents and all the rest of it, you know, because you're literally, you know, revamping and restarting from scratch. Is just remembering what you have as assets. You know, basketball needs friends of basketball then in popular places. You know, I remember speaking to the planning committee in 2006 for the CBC championship, which was an excellent championship, which is something that, you know, Java should be pushing and, you know, reminding people of. You know, both male and females won the championship. Very good names in the championship, you know, persons who excelled in the NCAA, persons who went on to excel, you know, in clubs and all the rest of it. You know, I can't leave out people who I grew up with, like Sarita Bramfield, you know, who excelled in that tournament, even as a senior player. So it's about getting back to the friends of basketball, paying homage to persons who contributed a lot to basketball, seeing where they are now, you know, tracking their journey and all the rest of it. Entertainers who are friends of basketball. We know Agent Sasko dabble in basketball based on when referee bridging name.
Yeah, man.
Sean Paul,
Conscience play, major.
You have all these people who play a lot of basketball who are end up being friends of basketball. So, you know, we can have the celebrity games and all the rest of it. But at day's end, even coming in as a celebrity, they have to know what they are getting out of it. Even for those who may act as if they don't want anything out of it.
Them
But
a
you
get
don't
a
want
good sweat.
Yeah, you don't want to play a celebrity game in front of, you don't want to play a celebrity game in front of 10 people.
Yeah, them are, well, look at
boy.
it. No, them what we gonna give them? Them already paid. They are celebrities. I'm saying they're doing it for the sport. Them are
No,
trying to
Yeah.
bring the sport.
but again, if the stands is not full, it
Yeah.
more look good
Yeah.
for them to post on their IG
They would
page.
even come
Exactly.
and don't play because the stands is
They
Exactly.
not.
will come in
Yeah.
and
So
look
you
right.
feel said you get Sean Paul,
Yeah.
Assassin, Idonia, and then the stands now go full.
What I'm
No,
saying,
no,
No,
you
no,
must
but
say.
we have
If.
how are you going to get them
yeah,
originally if the stands not full for other smaller celebrity games where Willie play and this and that and all
Yeah.
the rest of it?
Or
And
you're gonna sell
you
it to
know,
them to come.
or you're gonna sell
right.
it to them to come because at days and now, all right. So picture this, picture what and it's not because it's my home court, but I think the University of the West Indies gym, even in its very small state, is one of the
Yeah.
best venues to have ever played basketball in because the crowd is like right on top of you. GC first have the best court, but the crowd far. You know what I mean? You take have good crowd on top of you, but you lay up and you end up outside. You know what I mean? UWI, when UWI is packed, and Gary can tell you, I'm sure Gary
Yeah,
enjoy
man.
playing
Yeah, man. I enjoy beating you, of course.
in the latter days of the true championships.
Okay.
I want you to take a look at this.
I'm going there. Let me. I'm trying to create a scenario.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So we're in now. You have a celebrity game with available celebrities, quote unquote. Available friends of basketball before you get all the way up to the Idonia and them. Now, when you have that situation and you can put 300, 400 persons in the UWI gym, if it's even mock people, just to get that energy and basically package it, because you have to have something to show. You're going to package that. You package that, you cross it over with, images from the 2006 championships with people literally winning championships and all the rest of it, championship teams and, just mixing all of that together for what is now looking like how basketball or where basketball is going or where basketball wants to go. When that start getting the love and the likes, which it has to get from the persons inside basketball. So
Right.
if you even have to be calling people from far and near, everybody in your contact list, just go and like the page. Just go and like the page. Make the page get up to the 10,000 likes that is necessary for it to get on the radar. And then now you're saying, all right, you take your time, you're building up, and then when you say when the next time Sean Paul is around and the man coming to come left side and Esco, I remember even before Ding Dong, one of the more popular dancers within the dancehall scene. I think is Jordan them they call him.
No.
When
Ding Dong is a football player.
No, I'm saying before winning.
Before what?
Wi-Fi signal, before Ding Dong.
Nannyville Manto. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. I thought you were saying Ding. Sorry, my bad. Let me take that back. I'm a footballer. You see me? Cool.
Yeah,
I know for them, you have Kaunda. Kaunda is also a Nannyville
Right.
baller. So yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's it. As Nron was saying, the friends of basketball need to speak kindly of basketball. You
Yes.
can't just sit and criticize us. If you're here to help us to build our product. And with social media, it is likes. Share a program, share a flyer. Anytime I see something pop up for the interview, I just automatically like it. If I see
Which is
Action
right.
Jamaica pop up, I just like it because it's basketball. Because in order for it to even get free advertisement or free features, you need a certain amount. And we're not trying to do it to say we're building up a client base to get money. It's more because we want to get the word out. We want to know that when we start to feature players and athletes and do up and coming game or features of the past, because that's also one of the things that we want to roll out, to get in touch with these former players, national players, persons who have gone on the international scene, to bring it to the forefront. We want to know that many people can see it, as well as to inspire the youths to join. So everybody needs to speak kindly of basketball.
United, yeah.
Yes, we have, divided we fall, united we stand. In regards to what Mr. Watson had posted earlier about approaching the Carimid students, in order for us to approach and get a buy-in, we need to have a good product. Persons can see good videos and can be able to say, yes, they will get the necessary experience, and your student will get value for buck. Even though we have these entertainers who are friends of basketball, they still want to know that they're getting something out of it. So everything right now with marketing and branding is, must ensure that the brand I'm tying myself to will benefit my brand. You understand? It's not so easy like in the past.
And it's even if it's to start small, even if it's to start small, just ensure that the product is, just nice and clean and tidy as best possible. As I say, it's always good to start at the ground level. As I said, the captains and the stars of the team, they're the chief influencers right now. So if it's a Barnes, if it's a Gary, you know what I mean, for Sunday morning Bush League, if it's a Willie. You know what I mean? You'd have to just get the influencers, so to speak, on board, and basically share what the vision is, and the influencers have to have a similar vision. It can't be a situation where, as Willie said, you don't play ball and a game going to be playing and you don't have no time to go watch. You know what I mean? So how get better if you as a basketballer not going to watch basketball, who going to watch it and why?
For real. All right. What you have said, what both of you guys said, we totally agree. Willard can testify. This is one of the reasons why we even start this program, the interview, because what we realize, sometimes there's two language speaking in regards to persons looking on and persons at the top. What we normally hear that come out of the regular players, because we are amongst almost everybody still. They are talking, but Jabba, they usually say Jabba not listening. Jabba is saying you're not reaching out. We're not hearing those talks that you mentioned over and over that you have been saying. So with this forum, we say, you know what? Let us have a platform where the players can hear what is going on up top and get some transparency taking place. And with that being
explain, and also one of the things I would ask you to do is to, whenever you can, and even Colleen can do it now, is just to explain the structure. Explain the structure. Explain who the individuals are, who the persons are, who the persons are involved, as coaches, as administrators, as committee members. Because sometimes we sit back and say, "Oh, Jabba not doing this, Jabba not doing that," but Jabba are Colleen Nattie. Jabba is X person, Y person, who have 9-to-5s, who have children, who have to get up, who have to go to PTA meeting, who have to do everything else, plus to spend 3-4 physical hours trying to deal with things for persons who sometimes you can deem almost ungrateful.
Yes, for real. No, we like the reality, we like the truth, and that's why you're here.
So what are we trying to do in terms of marketing and promotion? Are we trying to get like CVM or TVJ? I just want to know.
Okay,
listen.
All
she mentions.
All right, let's be frank. Where we want to go is as big as possible, and as big as possible is features on our national programs. However, until we are a program that they want to dedicate to, because remember, TV time is money time. You understand? What we want is even persons who are attending the games to go on a Facebook Live and tag Jabba in it. That is publicity. That is able to show us in the grassroots. So what we're looking for marketing, we're trying to take it a multifaceted area. I must say right now, for the record, that Jabba currently does not have a marketing committee because persons don't have the time to commit. And I'm making a call for those who are interested right now to let us know if you're available to develop this marketing committee so that we can have a more effective marketing strategy going out. You understand? So I just wanted to make.
I'll only add to that though, Colleen. You have them right in front of you.
No, I know.
I didn't want to say. And the Gary.
I didn't want to say.
So no. What I'm saying is, don't make it hypothetical. Don't make it non-direct. Say willing. How much hours you can give dedicated to just Jabba marketing. We don't need to see any more of your sweat on Airport Road.
Well, the truth is we have engaged Gary and Willie, and we have also engaged Simon. And that's what I'm saying for the developing marketing part, because that's my forte. I have asked for the young and persons who are more tech savvy to come and help. We have pitched it out there and they have been able to help. It's just that, again, I wasn't here, so I wasn't able to mobilize, but we don't have a marketing person right now. And that is really hampering our efforts.
And overall, and you know, reach the age. I know you don't catch 48. You're still,
No, you're still young.
you're still within the 30s range. You know, and as uncle and big brother to most of you,
Super senior,
I don't
Nron, super senior.
superlatively senior. I want you to use what you have as your assets. You know, which is youth. You know, really and truly, I do not see the necessity to be thinking about a CVM and a TVJ right now because they are not going to be paying for. They are not going to be. Point. Yeah, they are not going to be paying for
social media.
You know.
No, I'm for social media. No, I'm for social media. That's what I was getting at.
They're not going to be paying for content.
While we strive for it. However, we understand that for me, everything is grassroots. Even with the developmental programs that I am a part of, I only do grassroots programs. So Mini is me, Star Search. I am a part of that committee. Unfortunately, I'm not looking at the grown folks because the youth are my future. So yes, I believe in that. However, as I said, we have started to engage persons such as the interview, Simon Action Jamaica. They were doing wonderful things. Even Calvin Martin and his very famous Facebook page right now. You know, we are looking at it.
And really and truly,
Calvin Martin is behind the scene person.
And in very frank terms, big up yourself, Mr. Martin. But if Mr. Martin can have
exactly
literally a successful Facebook is enough. Facebook, faith.
Yes,
dinosaur.
Exactly. And that was one of my pitch.
I mean, really
that was one of my pitch. So that's what we're saying about why we want volunteers. We have persons who religiously go to school league games. I can't go because it clashes with my work hours.
Work time, I know.
You understand? But then you have persons who are there who can do it. You know, if international partners want to
stream it too.
Send the credit so we can give these persons so that they can put on a little Facebook Live for us. We are all for that type of partnership.
Do you have a 5-point or a 10 bullet point wish list that you have to share or can develop to share just right across the board? So if I have somebody who played basketball, so my past team captain at Georges and at University of West Indies, Jabulani Mobir, who is all the way in Trinidad. But you know, even though we don't talk every day, him on my Facebook, I'm asking for us then, I am volunteering then for us to develop an easy 5-point, 10-point thing that every friend of basketball can do.
Okay.
You know,
yes.
They must be able to look at it and say, all right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things I can do easy. You know, the persons who are a little bit more ingrained in the day-to-day running of basketball, the old schoolers, the Mr. What's name again? Minto and all the rest of it.
Minimize the list so we know exactly.
You know, I mentioned Harold Davis earlier because everybody gonna have the reason to say that, you know, I have 15 million things doing. You know, I don't know what I can do for basketball. You know, Sean Paul don't know what he can do for basketball. You know, it might be
put
just
it on him Instagram.
It might be but him can't just put anything on him Instagram.
Without you contact him.
You know, I think just
don't think so him able control him Instagram.
Yeah, earlier this year, earlier this year or late last year, I think Campion beat St. George's College is a semi-final, I think it was. And the Campionite had a game-winning shot and the whole of Campion run up on the court. Sean Paul is a Campionite. You know what I mean? That is a picturesque moment. You know, that is a good 10 seconds for just push it out there. Whoever has the connections to him, you know, make sure, you know, you have to use it. You have to use what the things that were connected by. You know what I mean? If someone come up for Donald Quarry, it going, you know, really going to have to get a double look on it because I might place that, a film place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just
don't forget Calabar. Yeah, and if Calabar,
really what about. When I reach Calabar, when I reach all the way already. You know what I mean? But we have to tap into, which is what US sports management does. Tap into these little small things. You can find baby picture for Jordan. You can find baby picture for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know, it's just about literally saying, if one of the things is going to be send any little picture, any little snippet of what you have basketball from back in the day. It might be an old jersey. I know I have at least one of my Guinness jersey them home.
So wait, Nron, you're gonna put on back your gear from the 80s?
The Guinness
Short?
coming.
Yeah.
But that's what we have to
With
do.
the
You know
afro?
what I mean? That's what we have to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Gary,
that's
we can reach out to the Bogle in a real estate. You know,
Yeah,
Bogle face
definitely.
the all over the place. You drive all about here, say Bogle face as part
Most
of real
definitely.
estate. And
Yeah,
Bogle started in basketball. You
There's
know
a
what I
lot
mean?
of people they can reach out to, but
Yeah.
again, you don't know why they wouldn't support it. Because
No, but that's
I've
the
reached
thing.
out.
Which is why I'm
what they
saying.
want to know,
Which
the
is why I'm
5 to
saying you
10
have to
list.
show them. You have
Right.
to show them how to support it. You have to show them how
What
to
you want
support
them
it.
to.
And if it's
Okay, no
about,
problem.
it might, the first thing might be just whenever anything basketball Jamaica pop up, just like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Take 10 seconds to listen to it. Take 10 seconds to read an article.
Right.
These are the persons, look at these links. These are the persons who are connected to friends. These are their handles, etc., etc. So you can start again. Did you know Sean Paul? Do you know Sean Paul love and play basketball?
Right.
Honestly, I never know that Sean Paul play basketball.
Probably the interview can interview Sean Paul. Get
I
an
didn't
interview
even-
with
I
Sean Paul
didn't-
or someone else.
I didn't
You know?
even know
Yeah,
that
we can.
Sean Paul play basketball. We didn't play basketball.
All right.
Yes, man, he was featured in a celebrity game for NBL back in the day. So,
I mean,
Yeah, he was.
literally.
Remember, say Willie Young to basketball, you know.
Literally,
Literally,
when I used to go to the ball on a Sunday evening to go and play scrimmage,
Yeah.
Sean Paul would have been there. That would have been maybe about 2004, playing pickup basketball in the gym.
Can he play though? Can he play? Or cause
Not as good as you, really. Not as good as you, really.
no, because I'm still Mr. Conscience play.
Look at somebody who is ranked.
I don't know good.
Easily ranked amongst the best basketballers in Jamaica. What's his name again? What his name is? Marcel Griffith's son or whichever the I3 son name is. But he used to play for Rebels.
Nobody know, I don't know him.
He not like Rebels, you know. So you know what I'm saying.
I will coach that kid now, Pete.
You know, if you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We're not like Rebels.
Can I say as well? Just to remind
Colleen.
everybody that we used to have a very vibrant mini basketball training program on a Saturday morning at the National Stadium. You have to remember that there have been certain developments. For example, the outdoor courts have been closed for some time. And that has really hampered Jaba's efforts with the mini program. As I said, we now have a mini commish. I don't know if the person wants to identify himself. We now have a mini commish, right?
Okay.
So he can actually admit that we have been trying to.
You can't use mini with theme title. You know?
Right, so
you have a big.
What we've been doing, we've been working.
300 pound a minute nowhere place.
Right, we've been working on the back end to at least try to put in some reliable persons where people can identify them, because we want to actually the features on these persons where they can come out and say, this is what we're trying to achieve. And this is what we want people to do to help, whether it's to donate a ball, help us to come out and volunteer. So we do have plans. However, it may not be rolling out as quickly as As I said, I was absent for nearly half a year. I wasn't here. So just to reassure the people that we have been listening and we have been trying to engage persons. Persons have committed, and I know they're serious because whether it be an hour, 2 hours, and also there have been programs. Let me tell you, Jabba is willing to endorse anybody's programs as long as you come with a good business plan. Because remember, we too have to protect our brand. So if you are out there and you have your own mini program doing correctly, or any league or any ideas, feel free to approach the developmental committee with your ideas, because we're not here to take away your idea, but you have more weight when you have Jabba endorsed on it. Because parents them can at least say, yes, Jabba vetted it and everything. And then also to let people know is that the more we have more developmental programs happening, the more we're playing basketball, the more FIBA Americas can look at us and give us sponsorship and funding. As I said, the mini commissioner was able to go to Mexico for critical training. And there are many opportunities. And just to add as well, in regards to the female, because I know that's a very serious issue, the world is now moving to greater female involvement. And FIBA Americas has committed to getting greater involvement for female basketball. So we're looking to see how best we can capitalize on that as well. However, just be mindful that we have to get to the business of basketball and not the politics of basketball. So if you do come with an idea and then there are various questions, understand that we still have to protect our brand, because when we entrust you with our brand, it can be the death of a brand. So just be mindful of that. And we're open to ideas. We're open to constructive criticism and participation. And you feel free to call me, talk with me, speak with any other persons from the developmental community. Just work, and we're here to defend you. We're here to listen. We're here to help. We're here to endorse, because we can't do it on our own.
And with that being said, we must say to our viewers and persons who are might stream later that we encourage unity, because that's the only way out. I know persons. I'm appealing on behalf of the whole basketball society, from interview squad, whatever we have and whatever we hold on to say that back then didn't work out and we're angry for this and that. Let after this pandemic season, we'll pull together and see how far we can put basketball. We're having an open platform from now until September, because I'm at home working at home, so I have a lot of time at my hand. So we can talk about any and everything that might be bothering you, that maybe make you reluctant to participate in anything is going on. But we are here to unite and to ensure that basketball go where it's supposed to go. Which, as I said, basketball is bigger than me and you, and even Jamaica. It's just a small. Let us get a piece of the cake.
Yeah, and highlight, not just unite, and highlight all the ballers and Barca stakeholders. There's a lot. Go again.
Willie, before, we have a picture of a spot on Facebook. I don't know. I think it's about 3 of them. We just want to take a look. We don't know what is going on right here. I say congratulations, and I heard you mention, Colleen, that you were here. You weren't here for what? Almost a year. I realized that it was an award, so congratulations. Hold on, all white people and all of these things. And
right.
So where were you right here?
I was in Southeast Asia at Malaysia. I was pursuing a postgraduate education course in radiation protection and safety. The government of Jamaica have a regulatory body for radiation protection, and we are now rolling out our program. So a critical component was training. So
and this was nowhere close to Wuhan, right?
No, nowhere close.
I'm just checking because I said this. I don't want. We have a lot of conspiracy theorists here in Jamaica. I don't want. I came back
just before the official. I was like 2 weeks before the official notice.
Okay. So if you have a 5G problem, the radiation protection, you can assist us.
When further research develops that we're having a problem, yes, the hazardous substances regulatory authorities, the authority to contact, and you'll be able to get me as well.
Congrats again. Any last words to our viewers before we close it? We start with Nron and then we go to Colleen.
I just want the audio. Who have for next
No,
week?
we just want to hear a close out from Nron first.
Okay. Nron.
Yeah, man. Overall, I really want us, even just us here, as the 4 of us here, to basically make the commitment. We're making the commitment publicly, literally globally, to just jump onto the suggestion. I'm fully committing myself to be a part of that. I will have my 10-point suggestion. Colleen can put forward hers, and you guys put together and find a way to vet it. That's the whole thing of how can I be a friend of Jamaica basketball? That is just what I want to close with. How can I be a friend of Jamaica basketball? And having something that we can send out to everybody who has ever even bounced a basketball, so that they can know that, okay, this is what is going on here, this is what is going on there. I can just go on like this. I can just, be a friend to the Jamaica Basketball Association group. Just the basic things that don't take 30 seconds.
Right.
For real. Colleen?
I endorse what Nron has said, and I'd like to just add that whatever happened in the past is in the past. We are only looking back to learn from those lessons and move forward. We're asking everyone who even have the slightest interest to like the pages, endorse our programs, endorse a player, engage us, know that we are human beings as well. We are not everywhere and know everything. Feel free to approach the developmental committee, myself, in conversation and best to see, because just by this discussion alone, we are now hearing that we need to come up with that 10-point plan, and definitely going to jump on that. And the throwback pictures, of course, that would be fun to have that feature. So Nron, Gary, you know.
Yeah, good. Oh yeah.
I just want to add, I just want to thank the interview for this great initiative. Thank you so much for bringing your technical skill, capabilities and time to just promote Jamaica basketball and giving everybody an opportunity to voice their opinion. On my end, I'm committing to see if I can get members of JABA to actually be interviewed, because people need to know, start talking to the executive, and I'm committed.
I think so too.
We're definitely going to move to that. For Tuesday coming, we are going to take a break. For tomorrow, I must say early Happy Mother's Day to you, Colleen.
Thank you.
And it's there.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Yeah, so
Happy Mother's Day to all basketball mothers.
All basketball mothers. So take your time out to go in that kitchen and prepare a meal for mommy if she's close by, or send her some form of gift. So we will resume on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we are looking at Tommy McDonald from Urban Knights and also Mugabe.
What?
Mugabe will be on set. Yes, the great Sean Kemp. So it will be a good show, a good interview on Tuesday. Persons who back then who know who is this Mugabe, you can join and share some comments and ask some questions online. But again, we are really appreciative. We are so happy. We are so happy that we got a chance to speak with Nron and Colleen on this issue of marketing. Very important for basketball to go where it needs to go. Willie, any shout out?
As soon as they put together the Mugabe flyer and stuff, you know.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you know.
If once they bring on Mugabe, you have to bring on Garfield, because they seem to have this rivalry online,
which is very positive.
Yeah,
you know, we'll have to get Garfield. So who knows? The celebrity game may have to include them. You know what I mean? One of the celebrity games in the future. You know, so people can, circle the score. Keep on chatting about, so circle the score. Would I pay for seat? You know what I
mean? And again, even read I think once we have the social media part, like TV, JCVM, they will come to us.
They'll eventually follow. That's but let's focus on our brand.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about them, right?
Don't worry about that. And with Facebook and social media, we don't have to worry. Just to add, Java is working on their website because, you know, it wasn't the most user-friendly or even visually attractive. So they're now actively working on that as well. And we're trying to get persons to assist us even with it. Tag us, let us know, like us, let's endorse it. And just to add, the other conferences too do have their own pages. So let's not think that it's just Southern. We're trying to get the Northern Conference back up, Central back up. Western is doing a good job, but they need the Southern people to like their page and vice versa. So let's support all.
We will try and push that. We'll try and push that initiative. And someone just texted me again. Let me just make it public. Our persons are asking if we're doing an interview mask because they want something labeled by the interview squad. We're thinking about it and we'll let you know by next week.
And then we need to endorse. Remember, we need to endorse.
Yes, all right. So again, we are out. Peace.
All
right. Thanks everyone for watching. Remember, it's still there on Jamrock page on YouTube. So for those who are not here live and are going to stream later, thank you. Bless you.
All right, cool.
All right, have a great day, guys.
All right, thanks.